We were just 4 weeks out from the big day with Sophia. The dress was tailored, the venue was locked in, and the menu had already been taste-tested and signed off. She'd gone full-on with the planning. Her Pinterest boards had been picked clean for every floral detail and centerpiece idea. I just settled the final payment for the live band. Sophia said she wanted a classy, high-end feel for the night, but still wanted to go wild, whatever that was supposed to mean. Her name was already listed on my health insurance. We were tossing around baby names. If it was a boy, we liked Matthew. A girl? Zoe. My whole future felt like it was already carved in stone, until I got a message that blew it all apart. It came from Amelia. Just 3 words. Don't marry her. No punctuation, no explanation, just that. Now, Amelia and I weren't exactly tight. She was one of Sophia's college friends. The kind of woman who knew everyone's past and wasn't afraid to dig it up. We'd had a few casual conversations at cookouts and game nights over the years. She always came off smart, a bit dry, and way too blunt for Sophia's liking. I messaged back, "What's going on?" She replied almost instantly, not over text. "Meet me." She sent the time and place, Pine Ridge Park, 3:30 p.m. No emojis, no chit-chat, just the details. I showed up 25 minutes early. The park was quiet. Gray skies above, a chill breeze stirring leaves across the benches. I sat there in silence, watching squirrels squabble over nothing, feeling like the punchline to a joke I didn't get yet. Then I saw her walking up, jeans, dark hoodie, no makeup, no fluff. She spotted me before I even moved. "Hey," she said. That was it. No smile, no warmth, just one word, flat and unreadable. "Hey," I said back. She didn't sit down, just pulled out her phone, tapped around for a second, then handed it to me. No explanation, just the screen glowing between us. It was a photo. Sophia, my fiancée, wearing a white sash that said bride-to-be, lounging on a couch in some club. And she was kissing a guy wearing a police hat. Her hands were tangled in his hair. He was moving closer to her, and I could see her shifting in the seat. Their closeness was obvious, but I couldn't make out any details beyond that. I just blinked. "That was her bachelorette party," Amelia said. 3 days ago. Her voice didn't flinch, no sugarcoating, just facts. She swiped. Next photo, Sophia dancing closely with the guy, head thrown back, eyes closed. Another one, she's laughing, holding a bottle in one hand and her shoe in the other. Her lipstick was smeared. Her eyes weren't even tracking straight. "She left with him," Amelia said. I didn't say a word, just stared at the screen like I could wish the image into something less brutal. Sophia had pushed for the bachelor and bachelorette parties to happen early, said she didn't want to look puffy or hungover at the wedding. "Let me detox and glow," she joked. I remember laughing at that. Thought it sounded kind of sweet. Feels like a joke now. I gave the phone back, breathing slow through my nose. My jaw felt tight. Every muscle in my face didn't even feel like it belonged to me. "She told the girls not to say anything to you," Amelia said quietly. Said it was her last night of freedom. Said she earned it. No drama in her tone, just that quiet tiredness you get when the anger's already burned out. I asked her, "Why are you telling me this?" She didn't blink. "Because you should know what you're signing up for." I looked past her, past the park, into nowhere. Give a little nod. That was all, no explosion, no big scene. Just the heavy silence that comes when something deep inside you snaps without a sound. I went home and didn't say a thing. Sophia was still at work. I didn't wait around. I started packing. Not everything, just the stuff I needed. My laptop, passport, some clothes. Left the engagement photos stuck to the fridge like some sick joke. Took the hard drive out of my PC, left the rest behind. By the time she walked through the door, I was already long gone. I didn't block her number. I wanted to see her reaction. The first day was all concerned texts. "Where are you? Are you okay? I'm getting worried." Second day, it turned more urgent. "You're scaring me. If this is cold feet or something, just talk to me, please." I stayed quiet. On the third day, I gave in. Turned my phone back on at a cheap motel a couple towns away. It rang within 10 minutes. "Finally," she said, voice shaky. "Where are you? What's going on?" I kept my voice level. "You know exactly what's going on." Long pause. I could hear her breathing. "I don't." I saw the pictures. Silence. Then I said, "You left with a dancer from the club." That's not what it looks like." "Don't. Just stop." My voice was firm. "I know what I saw. I didn't sleep with him. You think I'm an idiot?" I was drunk. It was a mistake. Just one night. And you weren't even gonna tell me, were you? You were gonna walk down that aisle like nothing happened. Say your vows like it was all real. I didn't mean for it to go that far, she whispered, her voice cracking. But it did, I said, flat as stone. Please, she begged. Let me explain. Not like this. Let's talk, face to face. I got nothing to say, I told her, and then I hung up. She called again. And again. 15 more times that night alone. I let everyone ring out. Then came the voicemails, first soft and shaky, then wild with panic, then cold with anger. I listened to all of them. Not because I cared. Because I wanted to scrape away every last illusion I still had of her. Burn them down to ash. Next came the guilt. The text started rolling in like clockwork. I'm falling apart. You're the only one who can calm me down. At first, they came every hour. Then every 15 minutes. Morning, night. It didn't stop. She started leaving voicemails again, thinking maybe her voice would crack me open. When that didn't work, she turned to guilt trips. Everyone's asking questions. Do you know how humiliated I feel? I made one mistake, and now you're ruining everything. You're punishing me more than I deserve. Suddenly, I was the villain for walking away. Like betrayal was something you could grade on a curve. And when guilt didn't work, the threats started creeping in. Not direct. Just vague enough to raise the hairs on your neck. I don't know what I'll do if you keep ignoring me. I can't handle this on my own. I didn't answer. Just saved everything, screenshots, audio files, the whole mess. Then, silence. Like she'd finally run out of words. Or maybe she was just planning her next move. For days passed. I walked into the office like it was any normal morning, coffee in hand, brain on autopilot, tuning out the front desk chatter. I rounded the corner toward the hallway that led to my floor and froze. It wasn't Sophia. It was her mother, sitting there in the lobby. Hair perfectly styled. A coat that probably cost more than my entire suit collection. Her purse alone could have covered a mortgage payment. She looked more like she was headed to a country club brunch, not standing stiff in a corporate lobby. Her eyes locked onto mine. No smile. No small talk. Can we speak somewhere private? She asked. I didn't say a word. Just turned and started walking toward the back hallway near the loading dock, concrete floors, flickering lights, dead quiet. She followed. We stopped outside the freight elevator. She didn't sit. Didn't lean. Just stood there like she was used to giving orders in places that listened. Sophia's a wreck, she said. I didn't respond. She hasn't eaten. Barely sleeps. Just cries all day. I waited. She made a mistake. No, I said. She made a choice. Then she lied about it. She didn't sleep with him. I don't believe her anymore. She was drunk. It was one stupid night. It was a night she planned to keep secret. That's not a mistake. That's deception. The woman's expression hardened. Her voice shifted, sharper, colder. Maybe if you'd been a better fiancé, she wouldn't have felt the need to act out. That hit me like a backhand, but I didn't blink. So it's my fault now? I'm saying maybe she felt unloved. Ignored. You're cold. Withdrawn. You always have been. I let out a bitter laugh. She picked the color scheme, the venue, the flower arrangements, the cake. I followed her lead from day one. If I was distant, it's because I thought I was marrying someone I could trust. You two were perfect together, she snapped. No, I said. She was perfect when I didn't know who she really was. The woman looked away, like the walls were closing in. You're really going to walk away from everything? From her? From us? There's nothing left to walk from. Her jaw locked. You're making a mistake, she hissed. And when this all blows over, don't expect her to take you back. I gave a single nod. Goodbye, ma'am. And I walked away without looking back. Blocked her number the moment I stepped outside. But it didn't end there. 2 days later, her father showed up. Didn't call, didn't knock. Just stood there waiting in the motel parking lot while I stepped out for a smoke. He leaned against a silver Audi, tapping at his phone. Soon as he saw me, he slipped it into his coat pocket. You're hard to track down, he said. I took a long drag. Said nothing. We need to talk. Pretty sure we don't. He stepped closer. You embarrassed her. You humiliated this family. People are talking. She did that to herself? His eyes narrowed. We've put over 32 grand into this wedding. The venue, the food, the dress, the florals, the photographer. Do you even realize the damage you've caused? Oh, I see, I said calmly. She makes mistakes, and now I'm the one who has to pay? You walked away from a binding agreement. Show me the contract. He didn't like that one bit. Always knew there was something off about you, he muttered. Quiet. Always watching. He squinted at me. My wife said you had those killer eyes. Guess we should have trusted her gut. Killer eyes? Huh? I said flatly. Nice. She's still willing to forgive you, you know, he added. Well, how generous of her. He stepped in close, way too close. Listen, son. I don't care how hurt you feel. You're either going to show up and fix this situation, or we'll have to resolve it in court. I flicked my cigarette at his feet. Try me. The next morning, Sophia showed up. She didn't barge in unannounced this time. She sent a text first, said she only needed 5 minutes. Claimed she was parked outside. I looked out the window, and there she was, sitting in that white Mercedes-Benz of hers, engine still running. She gripped the steering wheel so tight it looked like she might rip it in half. I don't even know why I went down there. Maybe part of me wanted to see just how low she'd sink. I slid into the passenger seat. You look like hell, I said. She gave a bitter little laugh. So do you. We sat there in silence for a beat. Her makeup was smudged, like she'd tried to clean herself up but couldn't pull it off. Her lipstick was too red, too perfect, like she thought this was still a date. I miss you, she whispered. No. You miss being in control. She stared at me, really looked, like she was trying to dig out the old version of me from under my skin. Then she leaned in, voice low and shaky. Look, if it makes things right, you can spend time with someone else. I blinked. What? I'm serious, she said. Just once. Whoever you want. I won't care. I mean, we're engaged. That should still count for something, right? I don't want this to end. You think this is about revenge? I asked. I think it's about balance, she said carefully. You deserve something too. After what happened. I stared at her. No emotion. No expression. Just stillness. You honestly think letting me spend time with someone else fixes what you did? I think it shows I'm trying. No, I said. It shows how pathetic this has gotten. Her face twisted as if I had hurt her. I'm trying, okay? I'm doing everything I can. To fix your image, I cut in. Not your character. Don't do that, she snapped. Don't sit there like you're some kind of saint. Like you've never. I never cheated on you. She threw up her hands. You're acting like I committed a crime. No, I said, leaning in a little. I'm acting like a man who watched his fiancée kiss a male dancer in front of her friends, then try to smooth things over by offering him some kind of deal. I paused. That's not love, Sophia. That's wreckage. And just like that, she cracked. She slapped my shoulder, not hard, more like frustration than fury. Then another one, this time flat against my chest. I hate you, she yelled, pushing me against the door in frustration. You're cold. You're heartless. I locked eyes with her. Calm. Steady. No. I just finally see you for who you really are. I opened the door and stepped out. Don't walk away from me again, she shouted. We're not done. I turned once, just long enough to say, you offered me a hall pass like it was a coupon for fast food. That's all I needed to know about you. And then I walked away. This time, I didn't look back. But of course, she didn't vanish after that. If anything, she turned it up a notch. Started sending voice notes instead of texts, like hearing her cry might break me down. Please, let's talk. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I'll do anything. Next day, she showed up at my job. I saw her waiting outside the office like she was in some old black and white movie coat, sunglasses, arms crossed tight around herself. I froze, then walked up to her. If you come near me again, I said, I'll call the cops. Her jaw dropped. You'd really do that to me? Try me. Then I turned and went inside. She stood there on the sidewalk, staring. That night, I booked a legal consult. The next morning, I sat in a small office above a tile shop across town. The lawyer was in his early 40s, no fluff, sleeves rolled up, voice calm. He went through my phone, one message at a time. This is more than enough, he said finally. She's not leaving you alone. Showing up where you work, blowing up your phone. That's a pattern. She's not dangerous, I said quietly. She's just falling apart. That's enough, he replied. You don't have to wait for her to cross some imaginary line. She's already crossed plenty. He tapped his pen on my screen. Showing up at your job is what seals it. That's pressure. That's not okay. I leaned back in the chair. She used to be so in control. Now it's like she's falling apart and trying to drag me down with her. Breakups don't make people crazy, the lawyer said. They just show you who was already on the edge. He drafted the paperwork fast, explained every line to me as we went. This won't change how she feels, he said, but it'll build a wall between her and your life. For days later, The order was delivered, handed straight to her by a court officer. No contact, no calls, no messages. No showing up anywhere I was known to be. I thought that would finally be it. I was wrong. I was grabbing coffee in the office kitchen when the front desk girl shouted down the hallway. She says she's your fiancé? I walked out, and there was Sophia in the lobby. Black blazer, high heels, lipstick like she was walking into a courtroom. She looked furious, breathing hard, holding a thick stack of papers like a weapon. The second she spotted me, she stormed forward and tossed them at my chest. Pages hit me, scattered across the floor. You want a war? She said, eyes burning. Fine. Here's your war. I looked down. Reynolds S. versus my name. Civil suit. $32,000. The same itemized list I'd seen before, this time fresh from her hand. They're suing me? I asked. No. We're suing you, she snapped. You don't get to disappear and humiliate people. You left me to clean up the mess, she added. You made the mess, I said, cold and steady. I made one mistake. You made 10 after that, she said, stepping closer. You think walking away makes you some kind of hero? You're a coward. And you're an actress who can't land the role, I shot back. Her jaw clenched. Her eyes weren't teary, just full of rage. My parents are respected. I'm respected. And yet here you are, I said, bending to pick up the papers. I handed them back to her. Doing a great job trashing your own name. She slapped the pages out of my hand again. I swear, if you don't fix this. What? I cut in. You'll cry louder? Threaten me again? File another claim for emotional distress. She glanced around, realizing people were watching us now. Phones were out. Cameras might have been rolling. She dropped her voice. This doesn't have to get worse. I smiled. It already did. I turned and walked away. This time, she didn't follow. That afternoon, I dropped the lawsuit packet, still wrinkled, on my lawyer's desk. She brought it in herself, I told him. Threw it at me in front of the whole office. He flipped through calmly. Venue deposit. Catering. Florals, he read out. Makeup, hair trials, photographer, dress. He raised an eyebrow. They're embarrassing themselves. There's no contract. No prenup. No agreement on financial responsibility. And the emotional damage claim, he scoffed. A joke. A judge will toss this without blinking. So I don't owe them a dime? Not one, he said. I leaned back. Good. He flipped to the last page. Here's the best part, emotional damages for abandonment of the bride during a committed engagement. I stared at him. They really put that in writing? He nodded. They think you'll fold. That you'll settle fast to avoid gossip or bad press. They don't know me, I said. That night, I posted a short note online. The wedding is canceled. There will be no reschedule. Please respect my privacy. 15 minutes later, Sophia's sister left me a voice message. Her voice was sharp, spitting venom. You're breaking her. She's not sleeping, not eating. She's going to end up in the hospital, and you're just sitting there watching her fall apart. I didn't reply. I didn't even save it. Later that day, my phone rang from an unknown number. Voicemail again, this time, Sophia's voice. Shaky. Thin. I'm going to the bridge, she said. If you don't come, it's on you. I drove like hell, not out of fear she'd actually do it, but because if she was pulling this stunt, then I needed to end this once and for all. It was raining when I got there. Cold, sharp rain that stung your skin. She was already standing at the railing, arms wide, soaked through in that ridiculous white trench coat she used to love. Don't. I shouted, jogging toward her. She turned slowly. Mascara streaked down her face. What hair clung to her cheeks and neck. She smiled softly, too softly. I knew you'd come. You don't scare me, I said. I scare myself, she whispered. I stepped closer, calm, hands in my pockets. No panic. Not this time. You don't want to jump, Sophia. She tilted her head. How do you know? Because you put on makeup. She blinked. What? If this was real, you wouldn't care how you looked. You're here because you wanted me to chase you. To cry, to beg, to hold you. Silence. You don't want to die, I said. You just want to win. I want you to see what you're doing to me, she whispered. No. I want you to see what you did to us. You could forgive me, she said, her voice cracking. People survive worse. I'm not people. She took a breath, shaky. Please, don't leave me like this. You already did, I said quietly. You betrayed me. Lied. Got others to lie to. This is who you are. She hit me with a sudden movement. Her hand shook, sending raindrops flying. I didn't flinch. I turned around and walked away. This time, I didn't even glance back. And no, she didn't jump. The courtroom wasn't packed, but the tension made it feel like the walls were closing in. Her parents sat at the plaintiff's table, stiff as statues. Her mom wore pearls and perfect posture, while her dad looked smug, though that didn't last long. Sophia? She wasn't there. Of course not. She let them fight her fight while she hid in the shadows. Things moved quickly at first. Their lawyer stood up and delivered the claim like he'd rehearsed it in front of a mirror. My clients invested significant resources into a formal union that the defendant suddenly walked away from. This led to not only financial damages but emotional suffering. My lawyer rose. Your Honor, may I respond directly? The judge nodded. Go ahead. He stepped forward, calm and composed. Let's talk about why this wedding didn't happen, he said. Not in theory. In detail. Then he dropped a binder full of printed messages onto the table with a heavy thud. These are texts exchanged between Miss Sophia Reynolds and her friends, before and after the bachelorette party. Then he pulled out a sealed plastic bag from his briefcase. Inside, a delicate piece of clothing, sealed and labeled. The judge blinked. People in the gallery whispered. These were recovered from a man named James Pierce, my lawyer said. He was the performer at the bachelorette event. He left town shortly after, but we tracked him down and interviewed him. He flipped a page in the binder. He gave a sworn statement confirming Sophia left with him that night, stayed at his place, and left these behind. Gasps. Real, audible gasps. The judge leaned forward. You're saying this is straight from the individual involved? Yes, Your Honor. He also said, and I quote, it's my last night as a free woman. Might as well enjoy it. Sophia's mom made a soft, pained sound. Her dad's hand gripped the table so tight his knuckles went white. The judge turned to their lawyer. Are the plaintiffs disputing any of this? Their attorney stammered. Your Honor, my clients were not aware of these developments. That's your defense? The judge snapped. Unaware. He picked up the plastic bag between two fingers like it was toxic. This isn't heartbreak. This isn't trauma. This is deception. Then he turned to her parents. You're lucky I'm only dismissing the case. He nodded toward me. This man doesn't owe you a cent. And your daughter? She owes him the truth. Then he added, cold and sharp, maybe what she really needs is a mirror. He slammed the gavel. Case dismissed, with prejudice. They left fast. Her dad stormed out like a man running from shame. Her mom followed, heels clacking, clutching the court papers like they could still save face. But just before they reached the hallway, she snapped. This is your fault, she hissed at her husband, loud and furious. No more pretending. He spun around. Excuse me. You're the one who let her grow up thinking lies fix everything. Oh, don't start, he growled. You covered for her every time she screwed up. I didn't cover for her. I protected her. Someone had to. You were too busy golfing to be a real father. The argument exploded right there in the courthouse. Echoes bounced off the marble. A clerk froze behind the desk. Law students stopped in their tracks. Everyone was watching. She humiliated us, her mom shouted. She disgraced this family. Her dad pointed at me. He didn't disgrace us, she did. Her mother turned to me, fire in her eyes, like she was handing down her own sentence. This is what you wanted, huh? To destroy her? To drag our name through the mud? I didn't move. You did that yourselves. Her lips curled. You're disgusting. I smiled. And you're dismissed. Before she could say anything else, a security guard stepped between us. Take it outside. Both of you. Her dad didn't need telling twice. He stormed off. Her mom stood there for one last breath, staring at me like her glare could rewind time, but no one was listening anymore. Then she turned and left too. I stepped outside into the cold afternoon, and there she was, Amelia. Leaning against a brick column near the steps, arms folded, scarf loose, eyes steady like she'd been there the whole time. I stopped. You stayed. I figured someone should. I walked down the steps, loosened my tie, let out a long breath. That was a circus. You were the only one who didn't look like a clown. I almost smiled. You saw everything? She nodded. The meltdown. Her dad turning gray. Her mom blaming gravity. And, I'm glad you lit the match. We stood in silence for a second while the city buzzed around us. Traffic, horns, life carrying on. For the first time in a long time, I felt still. Want to grab a drink? She asked. You look like you need something stronger than coffee. Honestly, I said, I just want to sit somewhere quiet with someone who doesn't fake cry or throw lawsuits at me. She raised an eyebrow. That's weirdly sweet. I shrugged. I'm a weird guy now. She paused, then nodded toward the street. I'm parked around the corner. Let's go to my place. I've got whiskey. And silence. Perfect. We walked side by side. No touching. No rush. Just two people who'd been spinning in the storm finally stepping into clear air. I didn't know what would come next. But for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel angry or bitter or wrecked. I just felt ready. For weeks went by. No text from Sophia. No more bridges. No voicemails. No pop-ups. Nothing. She vanished completely. At first, I figured maybe she finally moved on, found someone new to mess with, or drowned the whole mess in therapy in red wine. But silence doesn't always mean peace. Sometimes it means there's a storm gathering. I wasn't checking up on her. Didn't look at her social media. Didn't ask around. Honestly, I didn't care. But life has a way of shoving news in your face whether you're ready or not. It was Amelia who told me. We were on the couch one night, half watching a movie we didn't even care about, when her phone lit up with a message. She stared at it for a second, then passed it over to me. It's from my cousin, she said. She still kind of floats in Sophia's circle. The message said, Sophia checked herself in psychiatric facility. Full breakdown. Her parents are trying to keep it quiet. I read it twice before setting the phone on the table. Didn't smile. Didn't feel victorious. Just let out a slow breath. She cracked? I asked. Amelia nodded. She vanished for 3 days. Left her phone behind. They found her asleep in her car at a rest stop, an hour out of the city. She didn't even remember driving there. Is she doing it for attention? I asked. Amelia looked at me and shook her head. No. This one's real. Ugly real. Her mom went radio silent. Her dad's been busy trying to get any legal records buried. And Sophia? I asked. She shrugged. Guess she finally ran out of people to lie to. I didn't say anything for a while. Then Amelia asked me, do you feel bad for her? I thought about it. No, I said quietly. I don't feel anything. And that was what hit me the hardest. Not the breakdown. Not the disappearance. But the emptiness. She tore everything down, lit the whole thing on fire, and when the smoke cleared, there was nothing left to grieve.